So I'd like to talk a little bit about discounted cash flows, and really what I want to talk about is the synergies. So the reason I'm talking about discounted cash flows, I obviously see them and get involved with them. I plan pre-deal the synergies, how we're going to put the companies together and how we're going to run them and how long that's going to take to implement. And since I actually plan those and then deliver them, I have a good understanding and a good ability to estimate those synergies. And I quite regularly get involved with this sort of stuff pre-deal. So that's my area of expertise and knowledge, the synergies, because I plan and deliver them. And so I just want to really make a video so that you can understand a little bit about discounted cash flow. So if I think about this in a very simplistic way, we could do a spreadsheet with the revenue and the costs of the acquiring company, our company, and we might call that a cash flow. We could do a second spreadsheet where we put the revenue and the costs of the target company, and we could then have a third spreadsheet where we put down all of the synergies. So what are we going to change? We're going to spend X to deliver the integration, and we're going to spend Y, receive Y as synergies for delivering those changes and restructures, those synergies. And so if I were to build all of those three into one spreadsheet, I could design a spreadsheet that had all of the companies together as one and show the increase in revenue and the increase in costs of the integration. So the increase in revenue of the overall company, which has come from the integration, potentially the decrease in cost of the overall company because of the integration. There's obviously money spent on the integration, and in some areas, because we're ramping up revenue, we might ramp up costs. So if I think about this, we've got a potential forecast of our free cash flows, not net income. We've got depreciation, amortization, and we've got capital expenditure. So are we opening new manufacturing plants or closing them? How is the working capital change? So if we're thinking about warehouses, we might reduce the number of warehouses overall as we do the integration. So we can then use this to build a single spreadsheet, thinking about the time period. So is this going to be a spreadsheet that runs across 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Noting that makes a massive difference when we come to do our discount to get the value of the company. We are going to use a weighted cost of capital, so we're going to borrow money to make this acquisition. And noting that we've got a weighted average cost of capital, the moment we buy the company, we have borrowed money at that particular percent, interest, and that goes into our models. So just starting to think about how we value the target company, and therefore we might make different assumptions, do different scenario analysis, and we might have a range of synergies. We might have a range of valuations coming out of this. And so if the company is worth, let's pretend £100 million, we might come to a valuation somewhere between 90 and 110. There's usually a window, because we might make various different assumptions, say, well, what if that assumption was a little bit higher or a little bit lower? And so we do various different discounted cash flows models to come to our value window, which we can then use in negotiating the deal. Remembering that we're discounting back to a certain value gives us our valuation. Now, this is relatively complex, and we use specialists. Most companies will have a finance director or people working in the finance department that can assist with this. We do. I have been CFO of a listed company, so finance people do cash flows day in, day out. Finance people can then create a joint cash flow with acquire and target and synergies, and can create a discounted cash flow to come to a valuation. So this is not, this is complex, but there's plenty of people that can do this, and there's plenty of specialists you can hire to do this if you don't have the knowledge or the ability to do this. But the key for me really is the assumptions going into the discounted cash flow. What is the new revenue going to be? How quickly are we going to ramp up sales? and what are the new costs going to be, and how quickly are we going to deliver the change in cost, and what are the spend that go with that. And it's the assumptions that are the important things, and the assumptions that I see people getting wrong, which is why people get their valuations wrong. So really having a good understanding of the post-deal part of the integration and using that and the experience of understanding that in our pre-deal valuation models. My name's Danny Davis. I help plan and run the European side of a $6 billion deal, 30 work streams in 30 countries. I wrote the book M&A Integration, How to Do It. You can see it here and find it on Amazon. I've been a guest speaker at London Business School for more than 2 decades on the topic of M&A integration. I consult, I coach, I teach, I train M&A integration, both pre-deal and post-deal. Here's my email address and my phone number. Send me an email. I look forward to talking to you.